He'll just be yeah, little boy.
Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners and let the records show that all members are present. And if everyone's had an opportunity to read the minutes, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Under old business, John, I'm going to turn you loose on this. Splash pad update.
Okay, on the splash pad update, we poured a lot of concrete down there. Still doing some earthwork with Mammoth working on that. But we've poured the pad, all the fixtures are in. Still running some plumbing, tying it into the well house with all the pump house fixtures. Going to be putting the door on soon, pouring more concrete hopefully tomorrow. That will be for the sunbathing area, setting the umbrella holders in. We don't have monies for the umbrellas, but at least we'll have the holders there, which they will be covered until we find enough money in our budgets to buy I think they're $8,000 umbrellas a piece. Yeah, we can't use patio furniture there. I see you're nodding your heads. It'll walk away. Mm-hmm. So we have to have something that will be solid, that will stay there. Other than that, the sidewalk is pretty well about 3/4 of the way dug out. That will tie into the existing sidewalk coming from the back side of the splash pad and tying into that, and that'll probably be framed up in the near future and pouring it next week. Moving right along ahead of schedule in my eyes. I think a lot of the solid work, the big heavy construction work will be done by the 1st of May. Still looking for that May 15th start date. We also have changed up a road, the access road, to get back to the pump well houses at the utility owns 2 pump houses back there also. We're changing that driveway up and kind of going with our master plan where it ties right into the conservation club. So your walking path trail. We tore down the fence yesterday, cleaned up that area to make the drive to go back to the well house, and also you can have another access to the conservation club. That will not be open to the conservation club until we see fit to put a new road in there, but we're getting closer to putting that path in there as our master plan. There you go.
Any questions on the splash pad? If you haven't gone down there,
I'm telling you, it's something. There's some drone
really
pictures out, I think, on the mayor's website that Kramer Corporation took some drones. This drone is about the size of a Volkswagen. They're really good pictures. Needless to say, yeah, it gives you a real good overview from the top and see what all the work and the footprint of it. Really nice. We had to take out another swing set because it was in the way. We will be reinstalling the swing sets and the slide, and that's a big concern of people, figuring out where we put those. But yeah, it's neat. So if you or stop in the office, and I have pictures right across from my desk on the TV that's showing construction daily. So there you go.
Okay, now an update on the dog park.
The dog park, we've met with Security Pro. They are going to be in charge of taking the operation of the gate opening. We have one gate that will open the front gate, and then another security for the other 2 gates to either go to the small to medium dogs or the large dog with a little corral in the middle. This will keep, the security will keep both gates being open so a dog can't just go running out and take off. Only one gate will be able to be open at a time. That way we don't have 2 dogs in the same corral, and trying to alleviate the dog bites and things like that, but also dog escapes. We have 3/4 of the fence that's already installed. Just need it to dry out a little bit so we can complete that. There again, we have the water that's installed and the drinking fountain for humans and for the dogs. The electric is being run as we speak. to run not only the security, but we're putting in a couple of security lights there too, and also for our camera system and the electronics from Security Pro. That work's being done. We did drainage last week in-house, and we went east with the drainage over to a dry retention pond. One of the neighbors of ours let us go across their property and put it in there, which was really nice. Other than that, we have some seating, and hopefully in a couple weeks we'll be able to roll something out, hopefully at the next park board meeting, when we will have a grand opening for the dog park.
Okay. Any questions on the dog park? Okay. John, the maintenance barn and restroom update?
Oh, boy. Here we go. Nothing. No, actually, it is back into the engineer that designed the restroom to begin with. Kevin Krulik and myself and Lori have all been involved with kind of looking at different packaging and going to rebid the project. The council, we had them reject the bids. The bids were too high. There was $460,000 and $980,000 for the original restroom, which was outrageous. Unfortunately, I know that's the time. There's a lot of construction going on. However, we're rebidding the package and separating out different items. Paving of the maintenance barn and drainage will be included, but they'll be separated so we can kind of get a good breakdown. Changing a couple things up, instead of the floor heating, making it a separate package of floor heating as one, and also eliminating that and putting overhead heating, changing the roof style up, taking the cupola out, just removing some things, adding nothing, but just removing some things and packaging it a little different, and hopefully getting quite a few more contractors to bid on this project to get some better pricing. We hope to have that go in front of the council to approve the big package on the I think the council meeting is 26th, 27th of this month. Hopefully we'll be able to have that, and I haven't heard back from Gary Ladd now, who will be the engineer, and find out if we can go forward with the dates that we kind of would like to timeline. There again, I hope to report more on that at the next meeting to see if the bids went out on the 26th, 27th like we want, or at least approval from the council.
Am I correct, John, that there's a cost to rebid that?
Yes, there is a cost. Originally it was I think it was roughly $3,100. However, a little negotiating, he came down on the numbers a little bit. I don't know, since we changed up the bid packaging, if that price will go up or stay the same. There is a cost to it to rebid it rather than just throw it right back out. So there again, Kevin Krulik's handling quite a bit of the negotiating there and that end of it. But it looks like there will be a cost to it.
And basically what they did, instead of just one package, they broke, as John said, they broke it down into segments so we can get an idea of what each segment costs to see, you know, can we do all this, can we not, but trying to keep it moving forward and changing a few things and the heating and things, but.
Yeah, I guess there was one addition, and that would be the maintenance barn paving and also the drainage. That was not included in the original bid package. Also, the addition of the barn from one barn to another so we could park the bucket truck in and have additional garage space for another vehicle rather than them sitting out and aging and wearing. So with that, that was also separated out rather than all being packaged together.
Right. And I think approximately, and that's still a negotiation, I believe, to rebid the redo the bid package is down to 2,500.
Yeah.
2,500 instead of 31, and Kevin is still working on that. But for that, we've elected to go ahead with that.
Yes.
So if all works out, possibly have a new restroom by fall.
And with that also, I believe we're having a trailer restroom come in. That'll be put in front of that restroom on Friday and sit there until we haven't really discussed how long, but the council and the mayor are both for putting another a trailer up there for the restroom, because I don't know if Shirley goes to a lot of baseball games with her grandson there, and I think she knows it's kind of an embarrassment there of how they look. There's always a comment. We do have quite a few college coaches coming in now because we have an outstanding pitcher, needless to say, that's already verbally committed to Cincinnati, which brings others in. But that is there again, that fee. I don't know how we're going to pay for that yet, but we'll work that out at the next council meeting.
See, we've been working on this building for
10 years.
10 years.
10 years. And it's...
And others can get done in 2.
Yeah, we got the others done pretty quickly, to say the least. The other 2 that we built, one at Memorial and one at Abner, were back in '09. So 9 years ago, it was $150,000 for 2 buildings. We did the demolition on both of them. That's also being looked at where we can demolish this, because that was in the original bid package. So if we can take that out and we destroy the building ourselves, saving some money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, it's one of those. We've gone from the even changing up the roof structure, going with a shingled, 20-year shingled roof. Not to say that we're going to do that, but at least bidding it out instead of the metal roof. I mean, we're looking at all things that we can cut some costs at and get something done, because the $460,000 and the $980,000 are just outrageous for a restroom.
Okay.
We do want a nice product, but in the same token, we don't want to. We also had stainless steel fixtures, looking at going back to the porcelain fixtures. I mean, those type of things are the changes that we'll cross our fingers is all we can do when we put it out for bid, but hopefully I'll be able to report at the next board meeting that we put it out for bid.
And thankfully, in the meantime, for at least baseball season right now, we'll have something respectable there. So I'm appreciate everybody on that.
Yes, and that's being delivered Friday.
Friday morning. Okay, any questions? Okay, Brian, did you want to report anything this evening?
Jessica, I don't know if you're Brian Benton. Are you familiar with Brian? Brian is working on the Christmas lights. He's chosen to lead be the lead on the Christmas light funding mission. Yeah, there you go. Wants to light up the park. I'm sorry, take away, Brian.
First off, I'd like to report that 2 weeks from tonight, I will be doing a presentation to the Lions Club. So hopefully this will be a good kickoff to our fundraising. I am a little apprehensive. This is the first time I would have ever done anything like this. Actually, this whole process is kind of new to me, so it's a learning experience, and it's been kind of fun. There are a few things I would like to talk to you about. When we get into donations, I look at kind of 3 levels of donations. The first one being general donation, people who will just give us money to be spent on the lights. No, not earmarked for anything specific. And I'm still trying to figure out a way that we can acknowledge these people when they do donate, so that public knows who they are. The next set of level would be people who actually donate an actual physical display or money earmarked for a certain display. They will get a sign that goes by their display, and that be every year that will say that they're donated by so-and-so, and that be permanent. The next level, and it's something I've been trying to figure out how to do, whether it's feasible or not, is a sponsorship. It would be a yearly thing where if someone donates a certain amount of money, say like a Lasley Outdoor Solution, they will get a sign that says sponsored by, and it will be along the path that people will drive so they can see various levels. Thing I haven't figured out yet is what kind of level of money to do this at, and I was wondering if anybody had any ideas what would be an acceptable level for a sponsorship?
I think you should have at least 3 or 4 levels, Brian. You're going to have some people that are going to do, you know, your $50 to $75, and then you may have some companies that would do $500 to $1,000. I think you probably should have like maybe like 3, you know, smaller, medium, and large.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you want to categorize those either as far as the difference in donations. You know, making them small, medium, or large, because the small, you know, the smaller donations are not, I mean, they're just as valuable as your bigger ones.
Right.
So, that's going to be a tough decision, you know, to try to figure out where you need to be.
Right.
And maybe you go more of like a private donation versus a company donation.
Right.
And split them up in 2 ways instead of making them a small, medium, and large.
Right.
Like corporate versus
Yeah.
private.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people would be offended if you
Call it small. Yeah.
small, medium, and large.
Sounds like, right.
Yeah. I mean,
I've seen things like bronze, silver, and gold, you know, that kind of thing, like
yeah,
tiers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to look at it as that way. I think it just needs to maybe be corporate donation and private donation.
Okay.
Should the board approve something that he's going to propose to companies, or would you like that?
Yes,
I think that would be a good
we
idea.
should, yeah, I think we should see, like, be given an outline of a proposal of what you intend to do for the board to approve on that. Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
And I don't know,
I mean,
I don't know that we need to have one for everyone that you go to, but if you had just one that was
An
more of a
outline?
an
Yeah.
outline to where we could look at it and we could say, okay, yeah, we approve this, and that's something that we accept for you to kind of represent the park as well.
Okay.
I think that would be a good idea.
If you do go with the 2 categories like John was describing, I wonder if there should be a third, like from service organizations, because they're not really corporate, but they're not private individuals.
Like a
Like,
nonprofit or a...
yeah, like, you know, Sciotes might take it on as something that they want part of their mission, or, you know, or the Scouts, or,
I guess my thought, and I think Frankfurt's is this way, and I may be incorrect. If I am, I apologize, but they have like different sizes. I mean, they have like, you know, the smaller companies did this, and then, you know, a bigger sign for this company, and then a huge sign for, you know, maybe the gas company or the electric company or something like that. I just feel like that's kind of something I don't think that at least I want to throw out there. I think it ought to all be the same. And
because we want to appreciate even the smallest contribution.
That's right. I think it needs to be, you know, basically all the same.
And
you know.
it doesn't need to be a competition between them to say.
No, not at
Let's
all.
not
No.
donate others.
No.
But it should be something that acknowledges they have done something, you know, a little bit
Exactly.
larger than most people would do.
Right. And I would be okay with that.
Okay. Okay, the next thing I want to touch on is there may be times when I need to take one of our displays, maybe to like the city market, to show people what we're up against, maybe even actually repair a display at the city market. So we need probably some kind of process that we can do this, that we check in, check out, so we know where the displays are, that we don't lose them, you know.
Who would be checking them in or out? Would that be you, Brian? or-
Probably mostly me, mainly me.
Because it is city property.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would think we need to make some type of,
Do we have an inventory of them?
No.
It's probably a starting point.
Yeah, so we'll do an inventory. Well, that was one of my ideas.
They're up in the barn right now, and we get them out, you know.
Give you an inventory in
After the
November.
haunted trail, and check the lighting out, and then boom, we plug it into every plug-in we have.
Is there more storage available in that barn when you start adding more displays?
Yes, we do. We have quite a bit of room up there, but yes, there again, if somebody wants one from the back, it's going to take some time to struggle up there. And it's Brian's been up there.
Yes.
Steep steps, a little heavy, and yes, to say the least. And we will have to take him because his car's so big and can't get some of the scenes there. Am I correct?
Right. I took probably was a couple of smallest ones we had.
2 candy
and
canes.
I barely got them in my car.
Yes. And I was questioned about, that is city material, him having it. So Brian had a discussion yesterday, and that was something that we needed to address, is it's city property, and
You're taking it to city market doing what? What, I guess, I'm not following what the.
Well, some of our displays are in pretty bad condition. My idea is to show the people,
they're also 50 years old.
Right.
yeah, show people what condition they are, what we are doing, with them. We're going to have to do some work on some of these, and I thought, there's 3 hours at the city market. Might as well just set up the display and actually work on it there where people can see what we're doing, actually see what's going on.
One that we have here.
I think that's a good idea.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I was not following.
And it only costs $19 for the whole season at the city market this year, so
So, John, do
you
you
can't
think-
beat that.
Do you think through
I
the
thought-
office you could,
With
sign
Brian,
out
I don't
sheet.
have a problem, but here's, and I thought about this last night. What happens if you decide, hey, I'm out, I'm moving to Texas, and then I'm stuck with all these things that are cut up, electrical wires hanging? You see what I mean? I know you're on it now, but how are we going to monitor this? It's kind of troublesome for, I want to go forward with the lights. I don't want to be a naysayer or anything, but I'm looking at having people from the public come in, working on our stuff, and say they start chopping things up and leave us a real big mess. Are they in bad shape? Some of them are. We work on them normally for a couple weeks prior to installing them, and I get what he's saying. He'd get more publicity if he's out there working on them. Hey, what are you doing? And probably get some interest. Right now, I think you have 1 or 2 people coming to your meetings. You've had several. You have some that probably don't even show up at all.
Right.
So I'm saying we need a system in place if we're going to have the public coming into my shop, coming into my, I just don't want to let every time, I'm very comfortable with Brian and what he does, but I don't want every person off the street coming in. I'll work on lights today, and then we have a mess.
Yeah.
And it'll be real frustrating when we go to try and correct the mess of where we are. We know what our mess is now, if you know what I mean. But,
Not.
so do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
There's a lot of detail here that, I like details, and I don't like to, hey, let's, shoot from the hip. I do enough of that on a daily. I don't know.
I would say,
I just thought about this last night in detail, and I'm going, boy, okay, there's a lot of things, and Brian and I have ironed out quite a few, but there's a lot more. Fundraising, do we want Brian to be our park representative to go into companies, corporations, people, or should it be represented by a foundation member? Should it be represented by a council member? These are some of the things that my concerns are. What barriers do we have? I think what he's doing is great. Not a lot of interest, probably more interest around Christmas time, but where do we go from here? This is new to Brian too. He's very, he does a lot of volunteer work for community gardens and kind of the ringleader there too. What happens when Brian goes south, said, I'm done, and we're left with other things clean? Do you see where I'm coming from?
what
Do we
about
work
other-
at the shop there? Do I have to go in on a Saturday, open up the shop, close it down, make sure? Do I have a maintenance worker do it?
You'd like some procedures to be
I
established.
really would, and I think you guys should structure those procedures. Myself, I can try, but right now, we're getting
Yeah.
ready to hit into spring, and, I
could we
pretty-
get a two-person
A group,
committee?
yeah.
From the park board?
to meet with Brian and iron out some of these, and you guys empower them to make the decisions of, do you see where I'm
We
going?
also have to take.
Just like
into-
John came up with like 5 ideas right there of different price structures. We could have 15 different ideas of where we're going with this. I could have different ideas. I don't want to do something that you guys don't agree with. Brian doesn't want to do anything that you all don't agree with. I don't know.
Well, we also
I
need to
structure,
consider-
Diane's got it, structure, there you go. on the
Consider
notes.
liability of having other people in the shop too.
Yes.
So
That
would
was,
be something.
It's
that
pretty
has to
steep
be-
steps, as he knows. And I was afraid he'd, when I'm pulling these down to him, because all our mechanical stuff's out, that we raise this stuff and put it up there. I'm lifting it down. What if he pulls a muscle? What if I drop it on him and break his nose.
And they are kind of heavy.
They are. We got the light ones.
Yeah.
I guess one question I also have, Brian, and not questioning your ability, but the fact of, you know, if you're wiring things and so forth, something catches fire, you know, whose liability is that? You know, if we
And that's what Brian was getting at, a liability waiver or something like
Yeah,
that. So I think there's a lot of
that's for
things.
anybody to do
He's
anything.
going pretty good with this, but, you know, the interest in, do we start promoting this? I mean, Brian started a group page as an admin on Facebook with us, and, you know, which you all approved, but where do we go? I think a couple members from the board maybe is my suggestion to help out, and I'll be happy to be on that, you know, committee too. I just think there's a lot of things that we probably need to iron out. Just, my head was racing last night, Brian, I'm sorry.
Well, mine does that too.
Okay.
But, you know, there's a lot of details that,
There are.
you know, the devils are in the details, and you have
And
to-
you're doing a lot of this yourself, and you have a lot of it ironed out, but I think there's a lot more that we need to be.
So would anybody be willing to serve on this committee and meet? I mean, it wouldn't take,
I mean, he's getting ready to go before the Lions Club and asking, and which is great. He's got a PowerPoint presentation. Your laptop's going again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
I
you
got all
go.
my photos loaded back on, so.
Yeah. So,
Don't you need this donation structure, though, in place before you start speaking to people?
It would be nice to, the thing is, Lions Club approached me on this, and they set the date, so it would be nice to be able to get everything set up, but I can still speak in general terms, you know, how to. And really, I would like someone like the Park Foundation to hold the money, because I don't want to hold the money. I don't want to have
well,
to
you
keep track
can't,
of all that.
you can't hold the money.
Yeah.
that's what, we had an issue, okay, going back to the War Memorial Day when I came in, there's a
Yeah.
can of money sitting there, and I go up to clerk treasurer and say, what do I do with this can of money? And she said, you can't have that. I said, I agree. We gave the can of money to the American Legion, who we could hold the forms for the collection of money, or give them the forms, they could fill it out, bring it to them, and they handled all the monies. That was the problem with the foundation prior to that, because the office manager at the time, Becky, was bringing the money to the foundation, and because they only wanted $5,000 at a time or whatever it was. And it was like, we can't have that money sitting around. The clerk treasurer brought it to her, and she said, you can't have that. And I said, didn't think it was a good idea. And that was my first week, I think. And Debbie Ottinger, I believe, was the clerk treasurer. I'm sure she was at the time, said, So we got it the heck out of the office. And thank goodness all the monies were accounted for, and Becky was not held, she was held accountable up to that point, I guess, too. So,
Okay, so what do we,
so there's another structure that we need to,
okay,
you know,
but we need to
take care of.
get two people, a couple people, and we
Right.
need to decide what we're gonna do when he goes to speak, because really, it is, we won't be able to approve anything for you to take to speak.
Right.
So,
What's the date of your meeting?
The 24th,
of April.
yes.
General terms, speak general terms, and
Yeah,
working
I
out
would
the
be very
structure.
general, because we don't want to commit to anything.
And they could just write you a check, already have a dollar figure in their mind already to give you. I mean, that could be also.
So with the
Especially if they
rest
ask
of this, John, would you want to head up the committee? Okay. Anybody else?
I'm happy to help.
Okay. Jessica and John then? So just need to put a structure together on that, because, yeah, we have liability issues, and so. And then at the Lions Club, if you just speak in general, and maybe, you know, just,
Yeah, if they ask me who they could check out to, I think probably the Park Foundation, earmark it for Christmas life, because then that will get to where it needs to be.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be going through me or anyone else.
And I had a
think that would be
foundation meeting last week, and that was some of the discussion too of how the monies would be. And we'll contact them and sit down as a
for the
group.
and then we'll present that, okay. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay,
I think that's it.
okay, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
in a lot of work on this. Yes.
Okay, under new business, Ed, you want to go? Ed Basquel, our general manager for the Lebanon Utilities. Sorry about that.
Yes, hi, thanks for having me. I'm Ed Basquel, the new general manager for Lebanon Utilities. I've been here about 4 months, so for those I haven't met yet, just want to say thanks for having me. I've been having a lot of conversations with John Messenger, and I passed out a map, and what I'm basically here for is the utility, they own a property on Noble Street that is shown on that figure. And at our next board meeting, they were looking to take an action to have a realtor list that property. And from talking to John, I know you guys would like to have that property because it is a good entrance to the park. We, of course, can't just give it away because it wouldn't be right to our ratepayers. But we also have a situation where there's a spot of land identified for a drinking water plant. We don't have a capital plan to build that drinking water plant, but we may need to in the future as our plans change and evolve over time, maybe 10 years from now. So the thought was, instead of having our service board list that property, maybe we could work out an arrangement where we swap, do a deed swap, or I'm not sure how the legalities of it will work exactly, for that piece of land where the plant would go, which we're probably not going to do anything with for at least 10 years. And you guys would get the Noble Street property so that you could have another access to the park. And I have my service board meeting next week, and I was coming here just to get feedback from you guys to see if that's something you're for or against. I don't know if you do a resolution or how it works with the Parks Board, but I just want to be able to report back to them what the consensus view of the Parks Board is, because I don't think you guys can transfer property. I might be wrong, but I think it eventually have to go back to City Council. But I just kind of wanted to have some discussion and get some feedback from this body.
It sounds like a win-win type situation to me.
Yeah, the park board can make a recommendation and then we can present that to the council, but the council owns the title of all property and they would have the final say, but with a recommendation, and possibly Ed could go forward with that.
John, do we own or are we planning or doing anything with the houses that we tore down on Noble? I mean, is that going to be an entrance or is that a possible entrance? I guess what I'm wondering is if we do this swap, is this going to be an exit?
There is an easement that goes back there, but no, and same thing with the property there. I don't know. It could be an access. We could put a parking lot there. There could be something.
But do we have access? Do we have access from here all the way back in?
Yeah.
On the north. That's not totally. We're looking at that right now. We are trying to purchase another property on Northeast Street, coming in for a bike pedestrian path that'll come in, and that'll hit our easement. But it's not a straight shot, period.
It's not a straight shot. It goes into the park.
It does go into the corner of the park. Yes, it does attach.
On like the east side of the football field where it would gain another entrance and allow us maybe to have
we've looked at putting a road in, but to do that, we'd have to take out partial of that practice football field, which is pretty important.
But you could get an additional entrance and parking.
Right.
Oh, but you could always go behind, excuse me, you could always go behind it, couldn't you, and use an exit coming through here? And
we're looking at that.
I mean, I think it would be a good idea if it.
And there was
quite a bit of difference in acreages.
That's what I was going to say. It's not an equal swap.
No, it's not an equal swap. It's 1.04 acres different, but.
Yeah, the one property is about twice as big as the other property, but when John and I were talking, one thing, if you talk to a real estate person, the old joke is, what's the most important three things in real estate? Location, and location. Yeah. Well, it's where that house is very important to you guys. Mm-hmm. And coincidentally, where that land is for the plant's important to us as far as the studies they've done for the wells and where water might be underground. Yes.
And this was talked about back in 2007, 8, right when I came on, I believe. And there again, the council, it was pretty well moved forward, and then all of a sudden there was a stoppage on that, and you might have known more about that.
I'll tell you what I know about the stoppage, and that's that what they did, they're doing a comp plan right now with the city, and we looked at what our water needs are, and we're looking for a plan to give us 4 to 6 million gallons per day of water capacity. for the growth they're anticipating. That plant provides 2 million gallons a day. So what we're looking to do is, is do a one source solution that does all that. And right now we're talking to communities like Whitestown and looking at a master metering agreement to get water from citizens through Whitestown to us, which is, from our size standpoint, is virtually unlimited, like maybe 4 to 6 MGD, so 1 million gallons a day. So we are looking at that solution ahead of this one. But what I'm saying is 10 years from now, that might change. It might be that the Whitestown area doesn't grow as quickly as what they're saying, and Lebanon grows quicker, and there's not, down Indianapolis Avenue, there's not a water main. There's a lot of distance to carry the water. It might be, at some point in the future, not today, it might make sense to build a plant there. So it's always good to have the property and hold it in case we need it, instead of being hunting for it later. And I guess something else John and I talked about I could share is that one thing that's frequently done with wastewater plants and sometimes water plants is when they build it, incorporating in a nature center for public education. So that's something we could work with you guys on. But as I said, we're not looking to construct anytime soon. We can make provisions, though. So.
Right.
And that's actually in our 5-year plan. So I mean, that would definitely be interesting, and at least in my eyes, that.
Yes.
Very much.
And there is also discussion, I think, Ed, we talked about that too, where the bike pedestrian trail is coming
Going
through there, right in that area, which will tie into Abner Longley, which ties into that corner of the park, which will also bring you. So there's other discussions that way. Then just to familiarize yourself with 501 East Noble too, there is a big power pole that's in that yard. So there again, and there's one house in between it and Timmons. If you know, it's just east of Timmons. Seed, yeah, yeah. So there's, just to let you know, to familiarize yourself with that.
So there's possibilities there also.
Do you think that would be an issue in regards to when we are ready to do an entrance or exit, having that house there?
Oh, the house?
The house that we're not.
Next door to?
Yes, exactly. The one to the west?
You know, there again, I don't know if, I have no idea.
Yeah, the power pole's really close to the street. We could, go out and look at it sometime or take pictures. The thought is we try and put things where they're going to be the least intrusive possible.
And the utilities has allowed us, like our dog park, we have one in the middle of our dog park too. I mean, it's something that we have, and they've allowed us to make parking areas underneath that or what have you. So even though they own the rights and the easement on either side, I think it's 20 feet either side of that, they still have the easement, but you can put parking lots under it. You can't put any buildings, can't put any trees, but you can parking lots, bike pedestrian trails, things like that.
Do we need a motion to take it to a favorable recommendation to the council?
Yeah, I believe somebody needs to make a motion.
I would say if there's no more discussion about it, I would make a favorable recommendation that we send the property at 501 East Noble Street and the property in the future site of the Abner Longley, 2 acres, as a favorable recommendation to the council.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Hey, thank you very much. My next step is when I have my board meeting, service board meeting next week. I'm going to report back your recommendation to the board, show them that map, and recommend they don't list the property. And we'll have some discussion on the best, probably with our legal team, with the best way to accomplish this. 'Cause I don't know if you need to do a parcel, a memorandum of understanding. All that stuff's a little bit fuzzy to me.
Negotiating.
About how that actually works.
Yeah, negotiating. There you go.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, also under new business is discussioning of I can't even talk. Opening date for Seashore Water Park.
Okay, in the very bottom of your packet there, yeah. I want some of what Lori has. There you go. In the very bottom of your packet, you'll see that there's a couple scenarios three scenarios, in fact. What we're faced with basically is opening it up on Memorial Day and then closing it because Lebanon goes back to school for 2 days. Do we want to open it? Do we want to close it? Do we want to just wait until after the school? So since I just threw this at you, I didn't get this to you earlier, you can go ahead and review it, and I'll just read through. Scenario one, if we open May 25th through the 27th and close Tuesday and Wednesday, reopen May 30th for the rest of the summer. The pros, open for Memorial Day weekend, stay consistent with being closed while school is in session. The cons on it, confusing for patrons, communication will be difficult. When we did this in the past, we had people from Brownsburg, Zionsville, or other school systems that were out, and regardless of what we put on our Facebook page, they don't look at it, they come in, well, we assumed you'd be open, is what they do. And we don't have enough staff without the schools in session. That's our difficulty. Scenario two, if we open May 25th and stay open for the rest of the summer, the pros were open for Memorial Day weekend, which was 90 degrees last year, and easy communication. The cons, difficult to staff without the high school help. Going against standing policy of pool closing while school is in session, which would be difficult to reinstate once August rolls around. Scenario three, open May 30th and stay open for the rest of the summer. Pros, easy communication, stay consistent with being closed while school is in session, fully staffed. The cons, not open for Memorial Day weekend.
When is Memorial Day weekend?
It is the last weekend in May, and there again.
25th, 26th,
Yeah, I think
27th.
25th, it says at the very top, I think. I shouldn't have put my glasses up.
Are we I guess I'm confused. Are we going to actually staff someone at the water, or at the,
This is for the Memorial Park
Memorial
pool. This
Park?
isn't the
Oh,
splash
okay,
pad,
okay.
yeah.
Wow, I was like really confused.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, yeah. No, it's Memorial Pool.
Okay.
And last year, we had the race going on, the Mel Canyon Classic. It was going on, and so we could not open the pool because there was no access there. It was a 90-degree day. Normally, that isn't. Normally, it's 55, 60 degrees, so we play that into play. But I just thought we should plan out as a park board and let you make the decision as far as policy on what to do on that.
What is the Mel Kenyon race this year?
Mel Canyon's the 18th, I believe. It's the middle of the month this year, so
May,
there is,
June?
Yeah, May.
yes,
May.
there are no conflicts there.
What would be your thought or your recommendation as
What
far
I
as
thought is
easiest
I'd
for
bring
you?
them in on that weekend and train, do a lot of training and get ready for the season. I'm going to have 3 new managers, adult managers at that time. Be good to train them. Have 17 new staff members. I think it'd be a good time to train. There again, we lose 3 days revenue. However, this year we would actually gain a week because of the time that we have. So we are going to be open a week more than we were last year, even if we open on that Thursday. But, you know, there again, it's difficult for me. I hate losing money because that's normally a pretty good money weekend. In the same token, it is confusing, excuse me, to a lot of people if we're not, you know, if we open and then we close again.
What time during the weekdays do you typically open up?
11. 11 is Monday through Saturday, and then 12 o'clock on Sunday. And then we close different times. Monday through Thursday, we close at 7 or 6. Wait, I'm not sure what the hours are right now. It's been a year. I'll get, yeah.
This is a crazy idea, probably. I kind of hate to have you not be open on Memorial Weekend, because I think it's kind of a short season anyway. I mean,
Yes, it
really,
is. No, I
It
agree.
that way to you guys and
And
your
most
staff.
pools do open on Memorial Day, and they close
The
at Labor
community
Day.
would probably appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I totally respect the idea of not having the pool open when school's in session, because that really gives a mixed message to kids who
Right.
are already in summeritis going on, you know? Would there be a thought to opening on those weekdays when school's in session, like at 3 o'clock or something?
It's real difficult to get them all in at 3 if they're out at 2:45 or whatever, I think. We could try that. I mean, whatever you prefer. That'd open it up for 2 or 3 hours, possibly that day. Or not open them at all.
You have
That-
a 3-day weekend, and then when is school?
I just don't know how many
The
patrons
last
would want to pay
student day
$5 to get in
us
for
is
2
the
hours.
29th,
Yeah,
and
So
graduation is the 31st.
yes.
So how many days would it be closed?
It'd be closed, if you're open Memorial
2 days,
weekend,
basically.
It just would be 2 days.
Tuesday and Wednesday that we'd close.
Yeah.
When is graduation?
31st, Friday.
So I agree with her suggestion to open, because you got a 3-day week. you have a
Open it
3-day
and then
weekend.
close it down for a couple days and reopen it, yeah. There again, that's why I asked your suggestions.
Boy, I think I have a problem. I'm in my head.
Scheduling problem.
Her scheduling, there you go.
We rented the.
But no, it's no problem any way we go. I'd just like some help with this rather than, so we're all on the same page too.
I guess I
Going
just hate to
forward and
see-
communicating that, hey, this is what we're going to do, here's why we
Well, I
decided
remember
what
the
we
discussion
decided.
last year having to be closed Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
And I think we were looking, if I recall the discussion, we were looking forward to being able to be open.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of the best things we have going in this community.
Oh, it is,
That people
by
love
far.
it.
Yes,
And
I was
it's a
just-
holiday weekend where a lot of people are off.
We'll just try and, as far as that, if that's your decision, that's great.
I
Just
would
try and
like to,
communicate
I would
it
like
out.
to see, I would like to see the pool open over Memorial Day.
There you go.
weekend.
It's
I
3
don't-
days.
I don't like the idea of it being closed. I know what you're saying, but
No,
I
I'm
think
putting
you're
it
gonna- I
out
think
there
you're gonna
because
have a
that's
lot
what's
of-
been,
I think you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be upset in the fact that,
Disappointed.
yeah, that they can't go out and, they have company coming in and this and that, and, they wanna go to
Families
the pool.
visiting each other.
And like you said, I mean, that's a great asset for us, and if we close it and we don't have it open, then
and it's
really not
90
much of an
degrees.
asset.
Yeah, there you go.
And you're only talking about 2 days being closed, but I hate to pass up a 3-day weekend
There you go.
for people.
That is a big weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the decision is we will be open and then close for the 2 days, correct?
Now we've guaranteed the weather will be high.
There you go.
60
It's gonna
probably.
be, yeah.
we'll have
The
snowflakes.
I
water
tell
will
you.
be warm enough
No, we
to
even,
open.
2 years ago when we opened up and it was 60 degrees, misty and cold, and the water was below 70, and there isn't a temperature degree in the water, but there's no way. These kids came out purple lips. There were 20 of them waiting to get in, so there you go.
Yeah.
Polar plunge.
So we
It's all
will,
about fun.
if it's okay with the board, then we will open on Memorial Weekend and close for 2 days while school's in session, fire it back up on that following. Good
Yes.
deal. Okay.
I think that's good.
Thank you for the help. Appreciate that.
Okay, John, director's report.
Okay, this is a little different format that I use this time, just to let you know what we've gone through in the last 3 weeks or so. And I'm not going to talk forever, I promise, okay? It's,
Before you even start, I
yes.
like this format.
Oh, you
I
do?
just want to tell you,
I was gonna
I
tell him
like
that,
this.
too.
This
Oh, okay.
is very detailed and it spells it all out. If anybody questions what's
Okay.
going on, there you go.
What I had, it was about a half hour to do this with about 5 interruptions, so if I missed quite a few things, but this was what we've done in the last 3 weeks, just basically off the top of my head. I should probably jot things down, I should have a little notebook, but.
We should all do lots of stuff.
Yeah. Needless to say, I don't. I'm sure I'll miss quite a few things, but I'll give you just bullet points of what we've done. I think it also familiarizes you guys with what we do on a daily.
Yes.
There's nothing more frustrating to me than hearing, all you do is mow, and it's like, oh, really? So anyway, I'll start out with Memorial Park. Restrooms are now open. We've replaced 4 toilets and 2 sinks. Flooring in both bathrooms have been refinished, so that means we blasted them and coated them, put the silica sand in there anyway. They look beautiful. Baseball field, we edged, aerated, rolled, treated. That means put pre-emergent down, sprayed the weeds. 90 yards of infield mix, also spread it. We had a steamroller out there, to be honest, too. Electric checked and sprinklers turned on. 2 trees removed and stumps grinded, and that's in Memorial Park also. Then we went on to the pool. We're working on it currently, too. That'll be another couple weeks that we'll be working on it, but here's some things we touched on. The pool, both vessels were blasted and painted, cracks filled, any breakage, anything were all repaired. Umbrellas repaired and started pump house detail. And what I mean by umbrellas, we took it over to Zionsville and had it stitched up. We still don't need to purchase new umbrellas yet. There again, we're tearing apart the pumps, the chlorinator, rebuilding and cleaning all those parts. Plumbing, even though you put it to bed good, it still needs all fired up and cleaned up and torn apart again. Plumbing started in the family restroom. We had some winter damage over, even though we've winterized all these things, there's no heat for some reason to these buildings, which is real frustrating. Everything we do, so it'll be nice to have a restroom that has heat. Plumbing started in family restroom. Grounds treated, mowed, and sprinkling system turned on there, and obviously sprinklers had to be fixed, some of that stuff, so we repaired those. Starting bathhouse work, there again we have some repairs to make in there. We have to run new plumbing in several areas and get our drinking fountains. It always freezes up regardless of how we winterize it. Memorial shelter, there again there's quite a bit of work from Rotary going on. Power washed and scraped the inside of the ceiling. Scraped, we've primed and painted it. Demoed the concrete on the outside skirting. There again, noticed that there were 4 pads inside that needed broken up too. While they're doing all this work, went ahead and repaired them. They raised up about 3 inches, some of them. So that's just from our great Indiana weather that makes that, chuck holes, but it also brings up concrete. So we had those torn out. Those will be, we'll have new drainage. The new drainage is in also. It's already taken care of around the perimeter. It's completed. We will be, there again, walking path identified on Northeast Street, so we aren't tying into that. Abner Longley, we've cleaned up tube forming. The old tube forming building, we're getting close to having the title to that, which will go to the foundation. And we cleaned up the brush, trash, and sealed up the building a little bit better. Removed 2 trees and stumps at that park. Revamped the storage area to maintenance equipment room. Removed 2 swing sets and 1 slide. We will be reinstalling them after we get the splash pad put in. Removed 2 concrete pads also. Removed wooden ramp. It was in shambles and bad shape, so rather than replace, we just kind of reorganized the playground equipment where it's really looking good. Edged the playground. We took out the old edging. We edged it, and then we put 50 yards of playground mulch in. It could use quite a bit more. That's a start. Jumped onto something else. Restroom, we replaced 2 toilets, again broken. Plumbing, had quite a bit of plumbing to do. Blasted the flooring again and added new flooring there. We actually coated it. Sprayed and treated all the grounds. There again, that took quite a bit of time. We aerated some areas and seeded some areas. Started work on softball diamond. There again, we're hoping to install probably another 90 yards of sand, brick dust on that, and kind of cleaned it up. We might pour some pads on the stands, the whatever. Installing gate access to the conservation property. As I told you earlier, we're doing that. That should be installed by tomorrow or so. Installing new road to the well house. There again, that will be helped by the splash pad people also. Hauled about 75 to 100 loads of dirt. They told us it'd be a couple. My gosh, you've seen it all, haven't you, John?
Yep.
Unbelievable. We pretty well kept Harold in business for the last 30 days, I think, 20 days. Football building, got in there. We had to replace 2 sinks that were cracked. The toilets held up this time. We did replumb the water lines. It was just, we really haven't done a lot of plumbing in there, so we've really taken a Billy Smith and Mike Redmond are great, so I'm taking advantage of their plumbing skills, and we're kind of upgrading everything so we won't have these issues in the future.
When you say football building, which building are you?
The building at the youth
At youth
football,
football?
yes.
Is that ours?
That is our building, yes. Anything that they put in there, that's why we pick out the color choices and everything. Anything they install becomes our property. Anything on our property will become our property. We didn't fix the Culligan thing. Well, I'm leaving that to them. There's also a water heater that needs replaced, and I'll discuss that with the youth football. I think they should replace the hot water heater. We don't have it in any of the others, and I think that's something they could pay. They do give us a little donation at the end of the year that takes care of the lighting, but also for some of the upkeep. They do make a little donation back, but we do not charge them for the use of the building or the field. Just keep that in mind.
Who maintains the field?
We do. We do.
All of that?
Yeah.
How is that?
Yeah, up until last year, we've sprayed it, fertilized it, we still aerate it every year. Now we do it just hit and miss. They hired somebody and treated just the football field for 2 applications or 3 applications, which I wasn't aware of, and we could have burned it up, which our communication's gotten a lot better since then. Yeah.
Are you planning on, I assume, adding playground mulch to Memorial as well?
Yes, we have to. We just haven't done it yet.
That's fine.
That'll be on next month's report
That's
if I
all
do
right.
it this way. Okay.
You know how I am on that. I want to make sure that that's
Oh, you
done.
have to, because the ADA compliance and.
Yep, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yep.
Yeah, you drop a bowling ball from a certain height and it has to bounce so much. Having utilities move guide wires, I told Ed earlier that David Van Wyde has done an outstanding job helping us. Had all the utility guys out there, also Greeno. There shouldn't be a charge for this either. This is something that they do, even though we pay them $80,000 to $85,000 a year for our utilities. They do help us out quite a bit, and this should not be at any charge. What I'm doing, when you come out of the youth football, there's a real nasty turn, and there's a pole right there. We're going to move the pole back, extend the driveway a little bit, because it just crushes when you make that turn, and it's really tight. So we're trying to make a little bit better exit, because we're going to have a lot of traffic down there this year. So trying to look forward to that, and so they're helping us with that. That has not got moved, but it's in the process. The grounds are all mowed and trimmed too. We've done that to all properties except the Arboretum. Conservation Club, we open fishing now for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 8 to 6. If you want to fish any other times, you have the hot pond at your convenience across the street. It is catch and release, and there are rules to follow there. No motorized vehicles and such. It's all marked on the outside of the fence. Our signage, no waiting and all that. Drainage on the east side, we installed that over at the dog park. Half of the dog park fence, as I said earlier, is pretty well installed. Electricity for security is started. We also treated the pond at the Conservation Club. Some brash, no, it's brush. I'm telling you, she did this right at the end. I had 30 minutes, and needless to say. Invasive species, we're removing those. We just do that whenever we have any spare time, which is very little right now. The gun range hill, we removed it. Dog park area graded. We'll be seeding it as soon as weather permits. Drive to the dog park, and staking started. I have no idea how we're going to pay for that or take care of that. I've got a couple estimates, and the cheapest one I have just to prep it is like $30,000. Well, I don't even want to tell the price. Now, because I have other bids that are going to come in, so it's quite a bit of money, and we really have to look at that to have all the traffic that I believe we'll have going in back there.
You're talking about the area going to the dog park?
Yes.
That drive?
Yeah, it's horrible.
I thought we were putting in the...
Well, we don't have any free crushed stone. We discussed that, but I don't have any free concrete that you were talking about. No, that's going out. That
Didn't end up getting that.
no, that guy's going to his own site, and he's going to other sites, but not to there. It's all spoken for. I was looking at, John knows the deal.
That was nice.
Out on 32, they had crushed cement, and I was going to use it as a free, and we haul it, and it didn't happen. Yeah, So what we might have to do is, we're looking at different options there, but I'll have something better to report the next time, because it's going to be open in the middle of May. Also, we removed 3 trees and about 8 stumps were removed. At the hot pond, the ground's been all treated. Pond's been treated. We finally got the fountain installed and running. We had an outhouse delivered there and also mowed and trimmed. Gene Haas Building, that's the Vincennes University. Our grounds have been treated. All the beds, what we do is put a pre-emergence on all the beds. We do that on all the beds that we have. I just didn't list it at the other parks, but out there they have way too many beds, wouldn't you say? Yeah, thousands of plant material, so we put a pre-emergent to hopefully we won't be pulling weeds all summer, which we will be pulling a lot of weeds. Sprinklers were turned on and repaired out there also, and we mowed and treated, trimmed out there. Rogers Park, there's been a junk vehicle that's been parked out there all winter long. Finally, a couple residents spoke up, and I made the planning department so that I think they've been ticketed and told to move their vehicles. It's in our easement where we get back to mow back the 3.5 acres in the back of Coombs Street. There's another thing going on back there when we noticed mowing that somebody got a new go-kart, and he's having a little track back there, and that ain't gonna work either, so we're working on that. And there's some trash burning that we're working on to get that eliminated. Reese Park, we removed a tree that they wanted back there. We've rolled it, aerated it, treated it, and we're installing dirt in areas, and we'll have to roll it and seed it. There's just some low spots, but we got to be careful what we do out there because it is in a floodplain. Yeah.
Read them underwater.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's something. Kitty Park, we mowed and trimmed it. Really haven't done a lot other than the pea gravel out there. We've treated it to keep weeds from going up. There's a little bit of playground equipment. We have nobody that wants to purchase that. We really haven't put it out there, but that's something that I think was recommended in our park master plan to remove that and sell it or do whatever. I think planning is working on sending out letters to the homeowners to see if they'll take it over, but nobody's biting right now, so it's ours at the time being. The Arboretum, it's underwater. Can't even get the mowers to it. We'll mow the front section of it, but we can't get mowers. We'll just get buried out there. Talk to, God, now I got to think of his name, Jason Lee's brother. Brett Lee, and he's going to help us out with some drainage there. He has not forgotten us. I've talked to him. He knows all the drainage that goes on out there, and he's going to help us out with that. And waiting for his help and expertise, but that's really something that every year we don't get out there to mow until the end of May, 1st of June, it seems like. Electric barn, that's the utilities have an electric barn. We help them out with treating the property there. Something that we've done. They supply the material and we put that down for them. They're again as responsive as they've been with us. I have no problem doing that. Downtown, we did remove snow there at the end of the month, last month. That hopefully is the last one that we have to do down there. We go down about once a week, maybe twice a week. When there again, spare time right now, pick up trash, cigarette butts, what have you. Plants are being installed by the contractor. We're not touching it until they're done with it. The table and chairs, tables and chairs will go out this week. They have purchased, they're sitting in the Bill Estes building over there now. We'll move those up there now that the weather's better.
I have a question. real
Yes.
quick. The plants that they're putting in the uptown, are they doing anything, any blooming plants?
Not to my knowledge. I think that'll be on us, and we'll have to figure out where we put them in. I don't see any on the plants.
So everything's the green?
Yeah, green in the
That's a
grasses. We'll figure that out. We'll have to pretty it up. I agree with you. I think flowers need to be going down there. but we are on a budget. That's the thing. But no, we want it to look pretty.
I took pictures of the ones in Columbus, Indiana, and it just makes their downtown to have
Beautiful,
the
isn't it?
petunias and,
Yes.
you know.
No, I'm with you.
It just is a world of difference.
Yeah.
Or
I wonder if-
begonias really
I
would be
wonder
the
if some
best.
organizations would adopt to
I,
take that.
I'm with you again, but there again, we get into the volunteer, and they're good for the first week and the next week, and then I couldn't even get business owners to water our flowers up there, other than one lady that's sitting in this place right
You didn't
now.
ask me.
Huh?
You didn't ask me.
Well, I didn't put them in front of your business. Business is uptown.
But
No,
Mom
I'm
and
serious.
Dad used to go around the square with their gallon jugs and water twice a week for,
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
long.
And that's the problem we run
But
into. I have heard
begonias-
master gardeners say, I'll help you do this, and then, and maybe it's me, that I'm not reaching out the right way, but I'm with you. I'd like the high school to take it over. I've suggested that, the ag program, Andy Dardini and Lindsay, yeah. But there again, I do get some volunteers, but far and few. And it is something that you need to stay on. The flowers need watered all 7 days a week in the summer, so.
But begonias, like, they have them out at the cemetery, and they're
Yeah.
really heat resistant. They do well in full sun, and
Right.
they don't take nearly the care that some other things do,
No.
so that'd be the way to go.
The thing at the cemetery, they aren't surrounded by all the concrete and asphalt and all that.
That's
So,
true.
and they're in flower pots, and a lot of time, I mean, I have Becky's Market that always helps us and always tells me you aren't watering them enough, you need to water them morning and night, so, because she normally is the one that we purchase them from, but I'm with you. It needs
have some
it needs some
color.
prettiness.
I know of a lady in town that has approached me and has shown interest in trying to help out with the downtown as far as the flowers, and she does some businesses here in town, the inside flowers, the inside plants.
Like maintaining them.
And
and-
maintaining them on a weekly basis and watering them and so forth. And she has said that she would be more than happy to help out on that as well, so. And she knows what she's doing. It would be nice to maybe include her,
Yeah,
you know, as far
absolutely.
as some of her experience. I'm not real experienced with annuals. I don't do annuals that much, but she does. And she just loves to.
Well, it looks like they've got some grasses up there and some hostas, maybe.
They do, yeah, they're very, very minimal. I wasn't,
Well, just driving in today, they put some, installed some on those bump outs, and Dooley had just taken the whole corner out. So we're gonna be very busy, and somebody else on the section on Meridian Street, looks like they pulled right over the thing to park their cars. So we're gonna be replacing, I don't know what we'll do, but I'm not touching it until they are finished, yeah. So just to let you know, I'll update you next meeting where we are on that, but I'm with you, Shirley, on the color. I believe we'll do our best to make that, I mean, it's got the park's name on it, so we will do our best. Just touching on office staff, and I can't keep up with the girls, they're so busy in there. It's incredibly busy, to say the least. Obviously, with the 60 new hires that we have just in summer help alone. But here are some of the things that they do on a daily or during the week, the last 3 weeks anyway, or a couple weeks. Configuring new service records, and there again, that's for our full-time employee, but also tracking their PTO, their comp time, vacations, sick days, all that. Registering dogs now with the city. We are now licensing all dogs with the city, so that is something that we're tracking, and that they are having people come in with their pets or without their pets. Working with security pros on our cameras throughout the park. They will also be helping with us on the dog park access and membership. We have a tracking system. We did have a smash and grab at Memorial Park on Saturday. We probably had 150 people in the parking area or in the playground area, about 5 rows down from the parking area there. Somebody came in, drove, smashed, grabbed. We got them on the video.
What, broke a window out of a car and
Yeah, I just can't stress enough, leave your purses in your trunks, do whatever, but do not leave them exposed. It was a lady from Frankfurt that left her purse in the back seat under a sweater, smash and grab, had it locked up. She wasn't, 40 feet away from the car along with 100 other people and smash, they're gone in a second. I mean, they come in, smash, gone. The police have good leads on it. I don't know where they are with that, but I think they also tried to use one of her cards at Family Express. So, yeah, I think they're on track. We got a good with our extensive security camera. We have good license plate. We have it at all the exits so we can have a license plate reader, but also that area we saw them pull up. Anyway, the police have the security footage on that, but the girls are so good at identifying. We track the car going all the way through. We have a very good security. I think Brian will attest to that. You're out there, which we're going to need, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, it's after the fact. Staffing for the summer, organization, new hire packets, etc. Organizing a training day for our pool staff based on our operating dates. Ordering apparel for our pool staff, swimsuits, swim trunks, t-shirts, ordering supplies for the pool season. New tubes, chairs, any equipment needed, handling all rental and pool party reservations. And by the way, we only have a couple of dates left for our pool parties. It is full for the season, just about, so unbelievable. Handling the $600,000 that we had for our fund balance that was allocated, and keeping the correct balances there, plus the $450,000 for food and beverage that we received. Updating the budget daily, new filing system for programs, completing hiring for summer, conducted several interviews, hired 53 pool staff, 7 maintenance staff, daily office duties, answering phones, greeting customers at window, implementing a new pool pass system, created a new logo for the Seashore Water Park. We're going to try and promote that a lot better than we have in the past, and maybe sell a few trinkets and things like that. But yeah, I thought everything else has a logo. Why shouldn't we have a logo for the splash pad? If you'd like me to bring that before you guys, or I'd be happy to do that. Just kind of, the girls are very talented in everything they do, so yeah, it looks really good. Something we're trying. Preparing for special events in our park, outside programs, Colonial Days, Mel Canyon, 5K runs, 4th of July. We also have a car show that's coming up from Kokomo. Pretty excited to get that. That you'll see, but great people to work with. They're just dying down in Kokomo, and they really love our park, so that'll be neat. New hot dog stand will be downtown at least once a week. We're going to try that out. We have a hot dog stand that we started when we started building the pool because we didn't have a concession stand, and I thought we need to bring some money in. It's paid for itself. We're going to bring it downtown and have something at lunchtime, then bring it on over to the splash pad and try and sell, sell always after $1. But it also, we have a very responsible couple of kids that have been with us quite a bit. They're college kids. They're really up for the assignment, and I think they'll represent us well too. And we won't put Arnie's or Greeks or any of them out of business, I don't think, but it'd be nice to enjoy our downtown. April programs, Daddy-Daughter Dance is Saturday, April 13th. There again, unbelievable. The dads are still coming in the door. I think there were 5 come in today getting tickets. Easter egg hunt next Saturday, April 20th. Hopefully the weather holds. Everybody bring your boots because the future forecast looks like a lot of rain, but we'll still have it rain or shine. Or with your dad, John, it was a snowy day.
It was.
It was. So there again, our May programs, free fitness in the park on Saturday. We've teamed up with the Y on that. That'll be held at the Joe Habush Memorial Bandstand. Mother's Day cupcakes and painting on Sunday, May 5th. Mel Canyon Race, May 17th through the 19th. May 19th is the first softball game, which there's registration if you want teams also. So that's just a down and dirty in the last 3 weeks what we've been doing. So if that helps, I'll go to that format from now on rather than me winging it. I thought that keeps me on track a little better. I think we all know that I tend to drift.
Do you know when the shelter house is going to be finished?
Excuse me?
The shelter house?
We don't have it rented until the middle of May, but yeah, I'm hoping then. It'll
I
still,
just had a couple people ask.
yeah, I know. That orange snow fence around there, but we have a cupola to go on top of it. We have uplighting that's going to go on all the corners. I think you'll like it. That's something that we'll be paying out of our facilities. And you can light it up different colors like red, white, and blue for, the 4th of July or whatever, green at Christmas time, or St. Patty's Day, or red at Valentine's Day. But a lot of work going in there, and the utilities is helping us bury wires that I've wanted to do for years. They're going to help us. Also, I've got a contractor that's going to help us bury wires. So, and we're going to eliminate a couple of poles. We got to keep the security poles as lighting for now, but we're going to bury some. And there again, I can't thank the utilities enough for all they've done. I did want to also thank Purity Wholesale and Jack Carroll. They donated $500 for candy for the Easter event, and also brought us in boxes of candy. So bring your kids. We have big chocolate bars and all kinds of candy that the Easter Bunny will be passing out. I'm going to try and get Allison or Taylor to live stream some of the daddy-daughter dance. We have a real beauty and a real beast. I think it's Taylor Moss, who's going to be Belle, and then one of our workers is going to be the beast, and he's got a great costume. It should be a great time for all, and real excited about that. And a lot of hard work goes into all these events that you don't see behind the scenes. The guys are doing an outstanding job. Working in rain. I mean, they're outdoors, so it's an outdoor job. Spring's on. May is going to be incredibly crazy with several events going on at the same time. I think June we have 3 events going on too. Colonial Days. We have that car show that's going to happen at Memorial Park. Colonial show at Abner Longley. Splash pad going to be open. Dog park going to be open, and also a free fishing derby. So that will be one entire crazy day there. But
I want to say one thing. I mean, I drive through the parks quite often, and it is amazing to see how much work and how much the guys and the girls do in the office. Every time I'm out there, they're doing something,
better be.
It always looks great.
It does.
Always looks
And it's
great.
just,
Take a lot of pride in that. They really got
Yeah,
got a real nice congratulations from Phil Levine and Rick Cosgrove on the baseball.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I tell you, that meant a lot. Of course, Todd and I both looked at each other and said, all the guys should be out here. And I understand we are representing the park, but they did have a nice plaque for the guys saying, all the park staff, what a wonderful job. And it means a lot that we get the acknowledgement. I always hear, hey, the parks look great. The guys don't hear it enough. If you see them, stop them. And I mean, it means a lot to them. But y'all missed a great first pitch, too. I threw probably a 95, 100-mile-an-hour fastball down.
I bet you
First
did.
pitch. I hurt
Was
the
that on
catcher's
camera?
hand, almost took him out of the game. So I'll sign autographs later, and all the pro stars out there looking for him. But no, it was really nice. It was I was honored, as Todd was, to even be a part of that, and Lebanon killed Western Boone 6-0. Yeah, Harker threw a shutout and also hit a grand slam. So you can't ask for more than that. Yeah, and Jonathan, he did not pull his foot at second base.
he did not.
I'm telling you. Yeah. And the guy was out at first base, so there you go. And they switched the calls, so I don't know what
It
happened
was
there.
a mess for a
Yeah.
little bit there.
But hey, won the game. That was all in all. But there again, the baseball's very respectful of us. We have quite a bit going on. Little League's pushing. I know our master plan calls for Abner Longley to put that clover leaf, and I'm getting a little more pressure there. We'll be working on getting a pickleball going down at Abner Longley. We still probably need to look about doing something with the tennis court at Memorial Park, moving it back, doing something rather than repairing. That's up in the air right now, and we'll have more discussion at the next meeting about that.
I had a lady from Indianapolis sitting next to me last night, and she commented how beautiful the park was. She said, this park, it's just a pleasure to come over here.
It is.
So-
Everybody does a real good job. But like John said, they're always busy. Except for me, I just hide from everybody real good. There we go.
I always have to call you to find you.
That's right.
Okay, we already had the claims.
No claims because they were done last Monday. Appreciate
yes,
everybody.
signature.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there are no claims. So if there's nothing else to come before the board, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.